Hello guys, good afternoon and welcome to the first evaluation race for Season 2 of Intelligence Racing League. Here with Group 1, I'll be your commentator for proceedings here today. I have a Bryn Mike, and today we are around the circuit Paul Ricard, and we are hoping to see some very good action here at the start of a new season, start of a new game, F1 2020. As we can have a look and see who's going to be the first one to cross the line to start a lap. It is going to be QVR Sparholt, so we'll stay on board with him, and he's going to take us through a lap of Paul Ricard. He gets a little bit eager on the throttle there as he tries to get a good run out of the final corner. DRS wide open. Full blast now down into turn 1. Looking for his braking point, using all the track he can. Trying to get a nice turn into 1, set himself up for 2. Keeping it nice and clean so far. As he comes out into the tricky section. Little bit of a lock up there. As he tries to negotiate his way through ones. Just a bit wide there as he tries to get a nice run through 6 and 7. Now, once again, another blast on the throttle, all the way down into the chicane as he picks out his braking point. We're going to see a few overtakes here, I can guarantee it, as he is looking for the best exit possible. Let's see what his second sector split is looking like. It is going to be a 49.6 as he comes through the flat out right under of turn 10 as he now tries to negotiate the tricky off camber turn 11. Bit of a double apex here you want to be hitting as he comes into 12, looking for a late apex to set himself up. Get a little bit squirrely on the curbs, but it's looking like a good lap so far from QVR Sparholt as he breaks down into the final corner, trying to get that best launch possible. To the line he will come, and that is going to be a 29.0, but it's immediately beaten by the Haas right behind him, and that is Reckles. As Daniel has invalidated this lap. That's one thing on this game, it is a lot easier to invalidate your lap as track limits are a lot more stricter on this game compared to previous games. As we got a few times coming in, we got F1 Ferrari at 29.1 on the mediums, and same for Bolin as well. 29.1 for him. Polish on a 30.5, so you could think he's going to go quicker on the soft compound tyre, as we are still waiting for times to come in. As Matty, ooh, that is close up the top, only 200ths of a second separating the Haas of Reckles and the AlphaTauri of Matty. Still waiting for times from Old Maverick, Dylan, Westy, Vintino, Bullet Boy, and Daniel. So we're gonna have a look and see who's close to the line. There's gonna be Dylan, but he gets very wide there in the final corner, and that's gonna compromise his run, and he is gonna be setting a 29.0, so he's gonna know that there is time out there to gain. I believe Old Maverick will be the next one to cross the line as he comes into the final corner now, hoping to get a nice launch. It's not a bad one. To the line he'll come in that papaya orange McLaren. There's a 29.2, a good lap there from Old Maverick. Now the Mercedes. Bullet Boy to the line. What is this going to be? And it's a 28.9, so the fastest of the lads on the medium compound tyre. And that is a big lap there from Bullet Boy. So still waiting for times from the racing points of Westy and Vittino and the Mercedes of Daniel. I'm just going to bring up the stream chat 2 seconds to catch what everyone's saying. Who is their predictions? Who do we think is getting pole position here? Hello to Ellie and Sevi in the chat. How are you guys doing? As we are in a bit of a calm right now as Maverick into the pits. Into the first calm section of qualifying as we are waiting to see what Ferrari fan is going to do. He is on the soft compound tyre, so it is going to be improvements from him. Same for the McLaren, and I'm assuming the Renault of Polish as well. As we wait for F1 Ferrari to come around the final corner to start his second flying lap. Hoping for a big improvement here he is. And here he comes now across the line to start his second flying lap. So he uses as much of the track as possible to get the best turn into one to set himself up lovely for two, as he is gonna fly down into the tight and twisty section of sector 1, which leads onto the very long straight of sector 2. He is 2.5 temps up. He has set purple in sector 1, so this is a good start from the man in the Williams, as he is full throttle, 335 kilometers an hour, as he breaks down into the tight chicane of 8 and 9, as he is now once again all flat out purple in the second sector as well, as he comes through turn 10, and he's got it all sorted now into 11. Beautifully done there by the man in the Williams. As he is on the move, he is climbing up. I do believe he is going to jump ahead of Bullet Boy. I'm not sure. He might be able to get Maddie. He was purple in sector 1 and 2. What's this going to be for Ferrari? It is going to be third place, just 2 tenths off Maddie and Regals. As we have the invalid lap from Sparholt, unfortunately there. Same for Edact. But Polish has an invalidated. Here he comes to the line. What's this going to be for the man in the Renault? It's an improvement, but jumps him up 1 position. And Vittino, he did manage to set a lap time. It was a 30.7, but he knows there's more out there that he has to find. Waiting on Westy and Daniel to set their first lap times of the session. as Daniel actually purple in sector 2. So this could be a very good lap from Daniel here. Unfortunately for Westy, he did invalidate. And Daniel is on the medium compound tyre, so this could be a very big lap for the Mercedes here. He looks for the best run out of the final corner. To the line. And he gets himself up ahead of Bullet Boy. So a big lap there from Daniel. And while that went on, we also got a fastest lap from Bolin with a 27.8, and Matty improves by 0.3 to a 27.9. So it's getting very tight at the top. You gotta think though, once okay, right, the game's kind of glitching for me. I didn't have the fastest lap come up for Bullet Boy there. So Bullet Boy actually now on provisional pole, 2/10 clear of Bolin with a 27.6. I'm not sure why the game is telling me that Reckles is still on pole at the bottom with a 28.2. Start of the new game, we uncover a few glitches. It may need a patch pretty soon from Codemasters, but we will persevere. Do we have anyone on a lap? We have J. Luke about to start a lap now. He's only going to get one chance at this. He needs to find 2 seconds. That's what he needs to find. 2 seconds to try and attempt the top 10. And he's already invalidated it. It's not going well for J. Luke so far. He can't seem to get a grips on this track. And Reggles can improve on his time, but he too has also invalidated his lap time. Okay, so we got Ventino and Ferrari who are just starting their final flying lap runs. They should be able to get 2 laps out of this. If they are fueled up correctly enough for it, they should be able to get 2 runs. We're going to go on board with Ventino. So that I can see how the man in the pink Mercedes is getting along. I'm not sure if we're going to get a big improvement from him. He is on the mediums. He gets a little bit of a snap there as well. That is not going to help his cause. He comes into the penultimate corner. Trying to get a nice line so that he can get the best launch out of the final corner. DRS wide open. To the line he will come, and he does improve by 1.2 seconds. A great job there, as Ferrari has also improved and got himself up into 4th place ahead of Reckles. So both Ferrari and Vittino do have time to kind of regain the ERS to go again. There's the Mercedes in the final sector, but to start his lap out is going to be Daniel. He is on the mediums as well, so Daniel opting for the mediums. So here we go for the final time in qualifying. Daniel into turn 1. Gets a nice line there through turns 1 and 2. He comes into 3, taking a lot of curb there as he comes into 4 and 5. Lovely stuff, looking for a good exit now out of 6. Kind of slingshot him into 7 and onto that DRS straight. Looking for the break in into turns 8 and 9, the chicane. Trying to get the best exit as well. Now let's have a look at the second sector split. Is he up? He is up by just under a tenth, as we got Mike, who has joined late in the session. Vittino has retired from the session. Daniel's looking to pull anything he can out of this lap. He is really stretching the capabilities of what that car can do, carrying the speed through. Lovely as he comes into the final corner. Is this going to be an improvement for Daniel? It is just about 0.02 of a second improvement. And Dylan unfortunately invalidates his final lap, so we go on board with the next one to cross the line, which will be Alt Maverick. So Alt Maverick to the line. It's an improvement, only just, but Westy with his one and only lap pretty much matching what Daniel done. So that's a big lap there from Westy as Polish now to the line. He improves, but not enough to jump up any positions. What about his teammate J. Luke? He needs the biggest improvement out of all here. And he gets it. Into the top 10 goes J. Luke at 28.9. We are waiting for Bolan, who he said it was an improvement, but I'm guessing invalidation. Seeing as the Delta didn't change, but Bullet Boy did improve by a tenth. So Bullet Boy is on pole position here. So I'll quickly run you through the order. So Bullet Boy on pole position. Bolin will be starting alongside him in second place. Matty in third alongside F1 Ferrari. Then we got Reckles in fifth. Daniel in sixth, first of the medium runners. Westy in seventh, also on the mediums. J. Luke in eighth. Ninth we have Sparholt. Maverick rounding out the top 10. And then 11th for free choice of tyre compound is going to be Ventino. 12th Dylan. 13th is Polish, and then Educt will be rounding out the rest of the grid. But we do have Mike, who has joined late into the session, so Mike will be starting from 15th place. Now I hope the race is as close as qualifying was, because that was incredibly tight between these guys, and you'll have to see it. As Reckles says, he was 4 times up on his time. Oh, That's not. I feel for you there. J Luke saying so much time in that lap. And Bullet Boy praising his setup right now. I mean, it was good enough to get him on pole position, so it must be a decent setup. As we got the predicted pit stops here. New feature on the game, and it's looking like a two-stop strategy. So, on last year's game, it was an easy one-stop. You could even do soft or mediums. So I wonder if anyone's going to try and mimic the strategy of F1 2019 here today, but the game's predicting a two-stop. For those outside the top 10, all on the medium compound tyres, so one stop seems more likely for these guys as it is for Westy and Daniel as well. So we're going to see the variation of strategy from these guys. Who is going to attempt the soft mediums if it even is possible? That's the thing. I don't even know if the soft and mediums around here is possible. It was on 2019. I wonder if someone's going to try it here tonight, but I don't know if it's possible or not. So this is going to be incredibly interesting. Are those on the softs going to have to make a two-stop strategy? Are they going to make the one-stop and stretch out the softs to go on the hards? Only time will tell. The game's predicting two-stop. I'm thinking it's going to be a one-stop. So we'll have to wait and see as they come around to get into the grid slots on the grid as we wait, as Mike, of course, the last one to join. As we are going to those 5 red lights. The lights are out and we are underway, and for some reason it still says Reckles at the bottom with the fastest lap, but that's not happened yet. As Bolin around the outside of Bullet Boy into turn 1, and that's a good move from the man in the McLaren, as Marty's having a bit of a peek as well. Reckles actually ghosting there, as we got more predicted pit stop strategy from the game, as a bit of contact between Ferrari fan as the lobby is jumping around all over the place. A spar hold around the outside there of J Luke in turn 7. The only bit of VRS these guys have to manage now is the is a usage of the overtake button. As you see, Sparhold engaging the overtake button on the exit of the corner. That is where I usually like to hit my overtake button. Coming out of slow corners and just trying to get that little extra bite. Sparhold is battling with Daniel, trying to hold it side by side. Sparhold unable to get that move done. Westy has managed to jump ahead of Daniel there, so Westy trying to keep up close with Reckles, who appears to be in this car now, which is good, as the man leading the way. Bolan is still going for it. I did see blue flags being waved there, and it's just not a true game. It's just not so. on board with Bullet Boy. He's not using his overtake, so he is trying to just get this done on slipstream alone. Next lap he will have DRS to help him though. As the top two begin to create a bit of breathing space to Matty in third, who's also creating a bit of breathing space to Ferrari and Reckles behind. Meanwhile, Sparholt still unable to get the job done on Daniel, so he's having to stick behind in 8th place, and he really does need to get this move done ASAP. And now J. Luke trying to stay within that second window. He is going to be under pressure from Dylan when it comes to the main straight after turn 7 with DRS. He is going to come under some serious pressure there if he cannot keep within that 1 second window. Now on board with Bullet Boy as he is all over the back of that McLaren. A good launch here. He is overtake engaged, as is Bolan, but Bullet Boy is going to have DRS. He isn't really closing in as much as he would have thought. So maybe Bolan with a bit better straight line speed, as Ferrari getting a fantastic run out of the chicane there, and he actually jumps ahead of Matty there for 3rd place. Meanwhile, we have a little battle going on with Vittino and Alt Maverick towards the back, as I jump back up towards the front. So Matt again jumped there by Ferrari fan. He is going to try to put him under some immediate pressure. So we're going board. He gets a much better launch out of the final corner. DRS wide open, and he is going to be able to cruise on ahead. And now he is back up into 3rd place, but it is just going to be a game of cat and mouse here between these two, because Matty not quite there within DRS yet. However, the guys on the mediums now are starting to come into it. They've started to close down the gap a bit. Bullet Boy not really close enough, or is he? He is gaining, but not enough to make the move. Same with Ferrari, not close enough. Doesn't look like Matty got the best of launches out of the chicane, so here goes Ferrari down the inside. We're on board with Reckles to get a nice view of this battle, but Ferrari jumps ahead of Matty there. Oh, as we got a lovely little pop there from Westy, having a bit of a peek down the inside, trying to put Reckles off balance a bit, trying to put him off his line. It is a nice little pop there from Westy to try and get himself into the mix, as we have our first person in the pit stop, and that is going to be F1 Ferrari. Is it going to be the 2-stopper? It should be at this point of the race. He has chucked on a set of mediums. As Alt Maverick picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. He's not the first one to pick one up, but he has picked one up. as we got Westy trying his best to get past that Haas. He does have the superior tyre grip now, I have to say. You can just tell he's taking these corners so much smoother with a bit more speed. Oh, it's a bit of a gap there, and Westy thinks, oh, I'll have me some of that, and tries it, and he goes for a little bit of a switch back line mid corner, and once again Reckles able to hold it ahead, but he has lost the ability to get DRS, and he doesn't get the best of runs out of the final corner. And is that going to be job done for Westy as he goes to the outside? DRS wide open, and that is going to be the move signed, sealed and delivered for the man in the racing point, as he tries now to hunt down Marty, who is only just ahead. And you can see Daniel now all over the back of Reckles. We got Westy actually getting past Marty there, but Marty is very low on ERS. He's going to be under some serious pressure soon. Reckles and Daniel, they have insane amount of ERS usage compared to Marty. Marty struggling on single digits on his ERS compared to those guys around him who are in the 70s, apart from Westy, who is in the 30s. However, this is kind of bad news for Daniel now. Westy has cleared this this bit of a train that we've had going on here, and now he has to do the same. He needs to get through these guys and not do that, as he picks up a 3-second time penalty. As does Edak down in 11th place, but so I was saying, Daniel needs to get past these guys now. He is going to pull to the inside. He's going to get this done. Oh, I think a little bit of contact between Reckles and Daniel there, and Daniel is around. He's able to get the car spun around, but he has lost a lot of time there. And Maddie's gone as well. What's happened with Maddie? I mean, we saw what happened with Daniel, but what happened with Maddie? Reckles and Sparholt, they do appear to still have their front wings intact, which is good for them. As we have our race leaders into the pits, battle of the pit stop. Mercedes versus McLaren is going to be the hard compound tyre on for the Mercedes, and the mediums for the McLaren. So we got a difference in strategy here. And has Ferrari fan got the undercut on him? I think he has. Yes, Ferrari fan into the lead of, well, into the net race lead of this evaluation race. With that 3-lap undercut, he has jumped both Bolin and Bullet Boy. Marty is going to be annoyed as he rejoins a good 12 seconds off Bullet Boy. As we got Daniel getting past Sparholt there with, sorry, not Daniel, Dylan. Sorry, Dylan. So Dylan getting past Sparholt, as we got Edak and Mike having a bit of a ding-dong battle for 7th place as Daniel now side by side with Valentino, and squeeze all the way to the edge of the track there. That may have been just about in the limits of fairness. As Sparholt has decided to duck out. We do have Reckles, who is going to continue on here. So Reckles, the only man on the soft tyres who is continuing. As we move on to lap 9 of 27. And here comes Bolin on Ferrari down the inside. Job done there for the McLaren, but Ferrari looking for a better launch out of turn 2, but unable to get it done. I tell you what, Bolin doing very well in his ERS. Let's see how he manages it coming out of turn 7. So he is doing good on his ERS. He's using it in the same way that I tend to use it, as we have Bullet Boy getting past F1 Ferrari. Reckles, I believe, has gone for a spin. So Reckles may be taking those tyres just a little bit too long, losing too much performance. Or maybe he may have collided with Dylan or Daniel. But he should come into the pits this lap now. It makes no sense for him to continue on. And yeah, into the pits he'll come. Okay, so we have interesting strategy decisions going on for those who started on the soft compound tyres. So Bolin has gone soft medium. Now I'm not sure if he's going to be able to take those mediums to the end. We'll have to wait and see. Bullet Boy on the hards, he's gone for the safe option. He should be able to take those to the end. Ferrari, he's definitely not going to be able to take those to the end. He pitted on at the end of lap 4, beginning of lap 5 for those mediums, so he's going to be making a pit stop, same as J. Luke. So we got a couple of 2-stoppers, a possible 1-stop there for Bolin. We'll see how his tyres last and so on, as we got Mike and Edax side by side, as Mike tries to hang it around the outside of Edac there, but Edac defending well, as Westy, the first man on the mediums, into the pit. So this is interesting to see where these guys are going to come out relative to. They should be able to come out ahead of Matty, but relative to Sparholt, we're kind of looking to see where they're going to come out relative to him. So is Sparholt going to be able to jump? He has jumped Daniel, and Daniel is going to get out ahead of J. Luke. So Daniel making that work for him, but now you got these guys who have been on the mediums to the start of the race being caught up rapidly by the likes of Bolin, who is going to have DRS wide open here. And he's just going to streak straight past Polish with DRS. Meanwhile, up ahead, Mike and Edact side by side there into the chicane, and Mike has got that move done, but Edact is trying to fight back. Is he going to have a little look down the inside here? No, he's going to think better of it. Maybe set himself up for turn 11 as he tries to hang it around the outside. Gonna have a little look for the switchback. Oh, very close there. I think Mike saw what he was doing a bit late there, but Mike able to hold on to P3. But they are going to be having a fast approaching McLaren and Mercedes intervening on their battle soon as Dylan, Vittino and Mike all into the pits, and Edact sticking it out for another lap. And just look at the grip difference between Edact and Boland here, as Edact gets out of the way, and I'm not sure if he was getting out of the way because he didn't want to race these guys, but he might have just been getting out of the way because he didn't have the grip to make the corner. Oh, look at the run that Bullet Boy gets. The traction is unreal, and Ferrari, oh, he's at the back of Edact there. It's a bit of a bump pass there from F1 Ferrari. Oh, and he spun it! F1 Ferrari has spun it, and as Regals as well, down in 15th. Oh no. So both F1 Ferrari and Regals have spun it, as Westy sets the fastest lap of the race, so he's trying to get into this battle as Ferrari is at, he has just gone into the pits to retire, haven't he? Yep, he's given up on this race, and he has pitted and has left the session, so he is not happy right there, but he can't really pin down anyone. That was just a question of traction in a very tricky corner, and unfortunately he tried to get on the power just a little bit too early and paid the price, and Matty has dropped it as well. So these guys are losing it left, right and centre here, as Polish gonna go down the inside of Matty into turns 8 and 9. And he's now up into 13th place. What about J. Luke? J. Luke all over the back of Mike. Yeah, J. Luke is struggling. He is struggling on those 9 lap old mediums. He needs to make that second pit stop. Question is, he's on 9 lap old mediums. He's better off stretching them out and going on to another set of mediums, I'd say. As you see, Mike, they were a little bit of a oversteer moment. We're going to go back up towards the sharp end here, as we have Daniel over the back of Sparholt. And Bullet Boy still putting the pressure on Boland. Here we go, Daniel, DRS wide open, as he is going to go to the outside of turns 8. They've kept it clean. Sparholt picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. He was looking for a bit of a switchback there on Daniel, but just gets onto the curb. And that is a warning, and unfortunately that is his 3rd one, because he has now just received another penalty. So back up towards the battle for first or second. Guys, if anyone has done a 50%er at Franchet, is soft mediums actually possible in this game? It was on the last game. The more I'm looking at this race, the more I think that it might be possible, but I'm not entirely sure. But he's just not getting close enough. And Sparholt doing all he can to try and stay within touching distance of Daniel up ahead, but Daniel right now clearly the one who has the most pace out of these two. Meanwhile, J. Luke doing everything that he can to try and stay on the back of Mike, who I think has a bit of a lonely race up ahead of him, because he is 7.1 seconds off Vittino in 7th. Now this is going to be interesting. Alt Maverick, Polish and Matty here. Matty should be able to get the job done on both of these guys, just based on the pace that we've seen from Matty here today, but incidents where he has lost out massively. There's a bit of contact there between Polish and Alt Maverick, and let's have a look, see if there's any wing damage. No, he does look alright. He is going to go past Maverick though with DRS, and Matty's going to try and follow him through. We go on board with Alt Maverick, who gets a lovely run out of turn 2 actually. Getting his nose in there alongside Matty, letting him know you're still side by side with me, but has to yield there as Matty gives him a nice old squeeze to the apex. And now Matty needs to try and get onto the back of Polish and try to hunt down these guys up ahead, as Edak now all over the back of J. Luke, so that's going to be a battle to keep our eyes on as well, as Sparholt still trying to keep with Daniel for 4th place. We're going on board with Matty, who is the closest to the car ahead. If things start to get a bit tighter at the top, I will be reverting to the top, but Westy right now, actually Westy is closing in on Bullet Boy and Bolin, as J. Luke makes that second pit stop. So Westy absolutely flying, as Alt Maverick gets himself a 5-second time penalty, and here goes Matty as he DRS wide open, gets past Polish into 11th place, but picks himself up a 3-second time penalty in celebration of that. Yeah, as I was saying, it looks like Westy closing in on this battle for 1st and 2nd, and we could have a 3-way scrap by the end of this race. As Reckles and Edak side by side. I believe Reckles just about able to hold it ahead of his Haas teammate. Big issue for Westy at the moment is the fact that Bullet Boy has DRS on Bolin. However, Bolin is starting to use quite a lot of VRS as we've got a Renault off, and that is Polish. I wonder if him and Matty made a bit of contact. Yeah, look at Westy is expending every bit of ERS he can into catching up to these two. It is working, he is catching, but he hasn't got a huge amount left. He is just outside of DRS, so he might just about be able to get in it if he has a brilliant final sector here. We'll stay on board with him to see what happens. See, it's closing up. But he's not going to get in DRS, he's 1.2 off. But he takes a nice tight line and he does gain a couple of hundred off City. And gets a lovely launch out the final corner, and now he's in DRS territory. He needs to keep this. Westy is just about within that 1 second window, but he's just dropped outside it. I'm guessing Bullet Boy is responding with a bit of ERS usage. But Bullet Boy closer than ever to Bolin. If he's going to make the move, it needs to be now because Westy is flying. Bullet Boy with a huge ERS advantage, and if he had only just used that a bit more, he may have just got past Bolin right there. Bullet Boy, he's just not using his he's not using his overtake enough. And now he's going to be in a sandwich right here because he's going to be being attacked by Westy as well as trying to attack Bolin. So he's going to be on the offensive and defensive at the same time. If Bullet Boy is watching, he needs to start pushing. Push now. Meanwhile, 12 laps on those mediums. I wonder what Bolin's tyre weight is on right now. As Daniel's in a bit of a world of his own, as is a lot of drivers right now. The closest battles that we have, the battle for 8th between Mike and Reckles, and the battle for the lead. So we'll give priority to the lead battle here, as Westy, he is well and truly in that DRS window now. He can try and save some of his ERS back. As J. Luke has retired, and is that just in the pits? Yeah, he's just gone into the pits and retired. So J. Luke a casualty here on lap 20 of 27. We have a freeway battle for the race win here. Bolin, Bullet Boy, Westy. Guys, we have 7 laps to go. In the chat, let me know who do you think is going to win? Who are you backing? They cross the line to start lap 21. J. Luke has left the session. Westy making a bit of a mistake there. Just costing him a few tenths. We've got McCrew showing support for Westy, saying Westy is going to be the man who comes out on top. And I tell you what, Westy has shown some fantastic pace that goes up to these two. Bullet Boy though needs to start using his overtake button a lot more, and it looks like he is doing so. as he is closing in, but not enough to put Bolin under pressure. As we also got Chema supporting Bullet Boy in the chat as well. Now here's the thing, Bolin's tyres, I'm not sure how long they got left before they fall off the cliff. Or if they do fall off the cliff. But right now it is very close between these three at the sharp end. Edact, I think, is going to try and move on Mike from the outside of turn 10. He is going to use the overtake to go side by side. Can't get the move done and picks himself up a 3-second time penalty in the process. So back towards the top three. Bolin is doing everything he absolutely can to try and keep these two behind. Bullet Boy has literally just been on his gearbox the entire race. Westy has pumped in lap after lap after lap consistently to close up to these two. And now he's here. He's got to pick his moment right. Does appear to have a little bit better straight line speed, does Westy, compared to Bullet Boy. As Edact and Mike have traded positions with the aid of DRS, and I believe Mike is going to get him back. Yes, they're side by side into turn 10. Now this is going to be interesting. Keep it clean, lads, as they both managed to make it through there. Clean as you like. Back up towards the front, and it is getting very close now. Lap 23 of 27 here at the Circuit Paul Ricard. Bolin, Bullet Boy, Westy, all within a second of each other. The top three, one mistake, that's it, you're losing a position. Latino as Bullet Boy now pulls out of the substream, and now he is going to try and go for it, and Westy down the inside as well. Westy going to try and make the move on Bolin as they side by side. Bolin tries to keep his nose in there, but Bolin just lost out 2 positions in one corner. And now he has to try to get back ahead of Westy, but Westy cannot afford to let Bullet Boy go ahead and pull away. But you can see the gap that Bullet Boy's already managed to pull. 8-10. So Bullet Boy now into the lead. Vittino is out of this race, and looks like he has retired on track, or he's lost it, spun into the wall, broken his wing and retired just for the sake of retiring. But right now Bolin has lost it against Westy and Bullet Boy here, so the hards do appear to be the better tyre, because you can see Bolin, he's struggling now to keep up with these two. Those mediums at the end of their life here, and he's dropped outside of DRS. And now we have Bullet Boy versus Westy. Bullet Boy has the ERS advantage, but DRS goes in favour of Westy, and here he goes now to the inside. He's going to be able to make this move, make it stick. He is going to be able to get ahead, so Westy now into the lead of the race. However, I do feel this is going to be a bit of a cat and mouse situation by here, because Bullet Boy with so much more ERS compared to Westy, he's just going to be able to cruise right past him when it comes to the back straight. But both of them have completely dropped Bolin, and Daniel may be sniffing an opportunity if Bolin's tyres fall off the cliff enough. So that's not right. Daniel off the podium just yet. I mean, he does have quite a big gap to pull in, but if those tyres continue to fall off the cliff, he should be able to get it done. Meanwhile, Bullet Boy trying to keep with Westy. Westy has been pumping everything to try and pull away from the Mercedes. And now, overtake button, he's got to have it engaged. He does. And he is going to close in now. Now remember the situation with the situation with Bolin right now. He has lost a second, over a second this lap to Daniel, and he's going to lose more. Is Bolin getting close to puncher territory? That's what we gotta ask ourselves. But he has dropped 4 seconds off this lead battle, and he has lost over a second to Daniel this lap alone. He may have actually lost around about 2 seconds, or a second and a half, but Bolin rapidly losing time here. As Bullet Boy trying to keep within DRS, and I don't think he's got it. No, Bullet Boy's out at DRS range. Westy has managed to clear him. So Westy managed to break DRS that lap. And that is crucial, because now Bullet Boy needs to use his ERS to close up, so they're both going to be kind of spent on ERS coming into this final lap. And that was crucial for Westy to do. He just done enough to break it, and oh, now this is going to be tasty on the final lap. Look how close Daniel's getting to Bolin here. Those mediums are absolutely shot. And then of course we've got this battle for 8th as well. Matty, Edact and Mike. Everything to play for on the final lap here. The race win. The final spot on the podium, and Daniel's here. He's within DRS of Bolin. Now this is going to be... it's going to be a tasty final lap, guys. If Westy can stay ahead, keep out that DRS range, I think he has done it here. And it looks like he has done enough. So Westy has done enough to stay ahead of Bullet Boy. But what about Bolin and Daniel? Yes, I know Mike and Matty and Edact having a bit of a ding dong for 8th place, but this is for the final spot on the podium, guys. I apologise. And Daniel into the podium position. And now up ahead now. Gotta go back onto this battle. And it looks like Matty, Edact and Mike all scrobbling it out, and DRS could make all the difference here. Matty's got nothing in ERSO, and Mike has a clear advantage. But Edak who takes a rather fast line there into the final chicane, and we're going to go on board with Westy, who's going to cross the line to finish this race in first place ahead of Bullet Boy. And Bullet Boy's jumped him on penalties. Bullet Boy has jumped ahead of Westy on penalties, and Daniel has managed to keep third ahead of Bolan. Sparhold in 5th place, Dylan in 6th. Reckles, is he going to be able to keep a hold of 7th? I think he will. He does have a few penalties though, so we'll see the time delta here compared to Mike, as Mike crosses the line now and doesn't get close, but Matty jumps both Edak and Mike into 8th place. And now we wait for Alt Maverick and Polish to cross the line, and Polish picking up that final 3-second time penalty, and that is probably going to be all she wrote. But Polish, I think, looking for the fastest lap. Is he going to get? I don't know. To the line he'll come now. I don't think it was enough. So there we go. Driver of the day is Mike, according to the game. As Bullet Boy top step of the podium. Westy showed incredible pace to come through the field on the alternative strategy, the medium to hard. He showed incredible pace to come through the field. Unfortunately, just getting that penalty cost him the win. Boland as well, in the lead for such a long time. But unfortunately, his tyres gave out on him. And that dropped him from the race lead to 4th place. Daniel, consistent as ever, had a bit of an issue early on in the race. Probably something that will be looked at, as I believe he collided with Reckles or F1 Ferrari. J. Luke, probably one to forget for him. Edak, Mike and Matty will be kind of happy with their battle, but Matty will be kicking himself that he wasn't up there battling with the likes of Daniel, Bolin, and even Westy for a bit of it. He will be absolutely kicking himself. But there we go. Bullet Boy wins ahead of Westy, Daniel, Bolan, Sparholt, Dylan, Reckles, Matty, Mike, Edak, Polish, Alt Maverick, Vitino, J. Luke, and F1 Ferrari. The 3 DNFers here with Vitino, J. Luke, and F1 Ferrari. And that wraps up the first evaluation race of Season 2 of Intelligence Racing League. Probably next week you'll be joined by the commentary of Car Mentalist, so yeah, it should be good. But next track, just gonna get the next track for you guys a second, so you know what is up next. Alright, so the second evaluation race next week on the 25th of July will be at Austria. So make sure you guys tune in to that, and also tune in to the Group 2 lobby, which will be starting, I believe it's just started now actually. So jumping over to the Group 2 lobby. I've been your commentator for today. I've been Mike. Until next time, guys, we'll catch you in the next one.